Hello, welcome. This is going to be a video for the Shimano 105, 1056. This is the lovely long cage version. I've already done a video on the 1055, and I've actually got a one here for spares that I'm going to possibly be using to repair this one. I was actually hoping originally that I was going to be able to use the body for this one because I thought they were exactly the same. They're slightly different though. If you look here, this is slightly raised for the anchor bolt, and in fact the anchor bolt here is a little bit slimmer compared to this one. If you look inside, you see that part there for the limit screw, kind of like a stopper. The one on the 1056 is slightly larger. There's a couple of differences as well on the parallelogram back cage plate here. It's slightly more refined compared to the 105. In fact, if I show you here on the side, you'll see this part here is a lot thinner than this one. But that wasn't really the reason why I didn't use this one in the end. If you look closely here, it looks like it's been accidented, and I didn't notice that before. So this won't be able to be used anymore really, other than just the parts which I'm about to use now. So what's the problem with this one? Well, the spring here is very floppy. I have a feeling that it's either the spring's been damaged or possibly someone's swapped out and put the wrong spring inside there. We're going to find out. There's also a kind of a Sachs jockey wheel here that's been put in place. We're going to need to do something with that, and it's got the wrong jockey wheel bolt. So let's begin. Another little interesting thing, I just so to confirm the date, we've got UH, which suggests we're about 1996, whereas the 1055 is an O stamped there, which means it's a 1990 thereabouts. So we're going to recline this and open it up. We're going to take off that stopper screw, which is right here, and well, let's just turn it off first. Now I noticed that it's a little bit bent, so I'm definitely going to be taking off the other one if the other one's in better condition. Once you've done that, we can recline that back open, and there's another Phillips or JIS screw, sorry, right there, which we're going to remove. That's broken there as well. Might have to replace that one. Once we remove that screw, we can pretty much start pushing this out. Let's take off that spring. Let's undo the pulley bolts to take off the pulleys. One, and this one's going to be permanently removed. Normally we should be able to find a replacement. At the back here we have this circlip. Let's remove that. The sill is in terrible condition. Take out this, get out the spring. Seems fairly symmetrical. Push out this bolt. It's quite stiff and stuck. There you go. Got it out. Still. I'm just going to leave that. There's no need to take that off. I think we will take off the limit screws though. Meanwhile, I'm going to remove all the parts from this one, that we can get that out the way. Next up, it will be time for some cleaning. Everything's been cleaned now, so we just need to assemble it. Something that you question only when you're having to replace maybe one jockey wheel is the correct width and the right one for this derailleur at this time period. And it's actually a very annoying time. The reason for that is the jockey wheels from this time period, you need to find if you want to find at least the correct ones, they're going to be Centurion ones, but they're going to be narrow, and they actually measure around about 8.2 in width. The previous Centurions were a little bit thicker, and it's very hard to actually find. I didn't have a Centurion narrow jockey wheel, but I did have this regular one, which is actually the same width, and I believe these are the ones that were used for 8-speed derailleurs. I'm going to be using my Shimano premium grease for this one. So any points that have friction, contact, you want to grease up. Let's begin by working on the top knuckle right here, the B pivot. So we've got a seal first to put on. Put a bit of grease and we're good. On the other end, we've got the shorter spring. I'm going to attempt to put the old one, which I think is nicer, into here. That's good. We now have this unit. Now, I did forget to remove the screw right here. I'm going to take that off. That's done. So the other tip of that spring is going to go into the hole right there. Don't forget to put the seal. I've just put the new one onto here. Grab a number 2.5 Allen key wrench, insert it through that hole, and twist and push down. You can now remove that, and we're going to put the clip that wedges underneath the bolt holding everything down. I'm going to use the nicer rounded one from the older one. I think it's going to work. There you go, and that's done. And we'll go halfway. Now for the lower knuckle, we're going to have the spring. So one part of the spring is going to be more inverted, going towards us. The larger diameter side is going into the knuckle. There'll be a hole at the back there, so you want to look for that. And engage it, push down. Before we put the cage in, we're going to put the jockey wheels now, because it's going to be easier to do it now. So on the top is going to be the G pulley one. It'll be marked G pulley. Don't screw too tightly yet. Give us some maneuverability. Let's put the other one in. Let's put this type of dust seal, I guess, back on. Now there's going to be two holes here where the other tip of the spring is going to go. On the left is going to be less tensions, and on the right more. I'm going to put it on the left, even though I had problems with the jockey wheel cage. I've replaced the spring, so normally that shouldn't be a big deal. If it is, I'll replace that as well. So once that's fully engaged, we're going to push that down and we're going to screw in the Phillips screw right there, or the JI screw. We're now going to recline the cage anti-clockwise, and we're going to need it open up so we can put the tiny little cross bolt stopper right there. And we can let go. Right, well that's much better for me anyway. No more floppy pulley cage. Let's put the limit screws back in. You can definitely add a little bit of grease on these when you're doing that to avoid cross threading. Last thing that was missing on this derailleur was the barrel adjuster for the cabling. I'm going to put this one, I don't know what the original one is, but let's imagine it's this. Hopefully the threading's not damaged, didn't even check that. I'm probably going to keep this one in the private collection. And I'm definitely going to test this on my, as for MTB use, triple. I think this one's probably quite good to do that with. Maybe something like a 30 tooth cassette, maybe, I don't know. Maybe 28. Depending on the larger chain rings. So thank you for listening, and I hope this helped you service your Shimano 105, 1056 rear derailleur. Until the next video, peace out.